Hello and welcome to the BlueMilk podcast.
Jacob farted.
And Dirk forgot about the keyboard on the table.
You guys know what a keyboard looks like?
That's our ornamentation for today, where we talk about anything Star Wars related. I'm BJ.
Anything and everything.
And everything?
Anything and everything.
Anything and everything?
And everything.
Are you sure?
It worked last time.
Okay. I'm BJ.
I'm Jacob?
I'm dying slowly.
No, it's cleared up.
We're all dying slowly.
No, I'm drinking them.
Alright, cool. And thank you for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed last week's episode.
Oh.
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode.
Are we going to continue the conversation?
Fuck yeah, we are!
So I believe last week we had to end short. We ran out of time because we're actually sticking to a timetable finally.
Holy shit.
I know. Small
See how
miracles.
long that lasts.
It took like a year, but we got it.
Almost.
Not quite a year.
Next episode's a year.
We're getting close.
Next episode's a year.
Next episode is our 50th.
And our year.
It's going to be a special one.
So special.
Now, for those of you who are counting, I know there are 52 weeks in a year, and we do release every Monday. Therefore, we should have 52 episodes, but if you remember, since I know you don't actually watch every episode, there were 2 weeks that we took off.
Yeah, not
in a
together.
row.
Like, they weren't one right after the other. There was 2 weeks that we did not put out episodes for.
Sometime in
personal
February.
reasons.
And then...
Oh, no one cares.
Oh.
No one cares why we didn't put episodes out. We just didn't put episodes out in those two.
And we're allowed 2 weeks this year, too. Or next year.
Next year we're going to do 2. Yeah.
We're allowed 2 days
2 Mondays.
off. 2 Mondays off.
So our 50th episode is the celebration of our first release.
So
Yes.
1 year as the podcast.
Then we will have...
Yeah, can you believe that shit? It's a warning.
Did we upset someone?
I think so.
Oh, well!
Yeah. Okay.
The show must go on!
Right.
But anyway, we are sticking to strict timetable now, so we were cut short on a topic last week, which was Star Wars fans.
Star Wars versus Star Trek, and what your guys' take on that was.
Okay.
Which I think we kind of came to the consensus that really doesn't... It's not as prominent now, I should say. People are not like... I shouldn't...
Oh, they'll still fight.
They'll still fight,
No.
but it's not like...
As far as I know, there hasn't really been... The fandoms are so upset at their own particular fandoms.
They have
at
no
this
time
point
to... That's true.
that they're not fighting with each
That
other.
is
Like,
true.
Yeah.
like Star Trek fans are in general not pleased with the J.J. Abrams Kelvin-verse.
Which is kind of funny, because Star Wars are kind of okay with J.J. Abrams,
but not happy
with Ryan Johnson's.
well, with what Disney has been doing in general.
Lately.
Like the episodes 7, 8, and 9 have kind of been coming out to somewhat lackluster fanfare.
Yeah. Oh, the whole reason the whole reason I brought this up is that there was a documentary I can't figure out what the name was of what it was called, but the host of it was Gene Roddenberry's son, and he goes around to conventions and the Star Trek convention, interviewing people of why they love Star Trek.
Trekkers?
Trekkers.
No, that's the name of the documentary. Trekkers.
Is it Trekkers?
Yes.
Oh.
I've seen it.
It's a good documentary.
Yeah, it is.
Ice Road Trekkers.
Ice
No.
Trekkers.
Although that would be interesting.
That would be.
I would not watch that, though.
Probably not.
I would watch
maybe
the
once.
first 5
I'd have
minutes.
to watch one.
Anyway.
I watched that documentary, and he actually interviews George Lucas in the documentary too. And George Lucas doesn't understand why fans would be upset. To be honest, they are part of the same family, just on 2 different sides.
George Lucas is full of shit. He knows damn well why they would fight.
Because they're too close. One is better than the other in a lot of people's fans. Like, I'm a bigger Star Wars fan than Star Trek, but I do like some of Star Trek. Like, I appreciate Next Generation would be my... You know how everyone's picks, like, oh, I like the original trilogy, or the original series, or, like, Next Generation, or
TOS, TNG, DS9, Voyager, there was Enterprise, and then they also just came out with Discovery.
Yeah. I would pick Next Generation, because I just find that a little bit more interesting. In my, like, forte. No, that's not right. Anyways.
Your interests lie more in Star Wars.
Yeah. Okay. But I mean, I think we're all fans of both Star Wars and Star Trek.
No, I am. I'm equal fan of both. I like both of them equally. I do not take sides when it comes to Star Wars and Star Trek.
To be fair, you are on a podcast that primarily
That's only
talks
because
about Star Wars.
dipshit asked me to do.
But like,
had he asked me to do Star Trek, I probably would have done that too.
To be fair, though, you knew more about Star Trek before the podcast. After the podcast, you've learned more about Star Wars.
And had this been a Star Trek podcast, I probably know more about Star Trek than I did before.
Yeah, but I mean, you probably knew more about Star Trek prior to the podcast than you did about Star Wars.
Probably not.
Really?
No.
You've seen all the series, though. I mean, you've seen, like, TOS. You've seen Enterprise, right?
Yeah.
You've seen TNG.
Well, I've seen about half of Enterprise.
I hear that it doesn't get good until like the third season because they get past that whole Temporal Cold War bullshit.
Never cared for it.
Really?
Yeah, Enterprise it didn't interest me. I figured, ooh, dude from Quantum Leap, this should be good. And first few episodes are just the fuck, man.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, the first two seasons. The first two seasons, from what I understand from a lot of fans of Star Trek. The first two seasons of Enterprise are not that great, simply because it doesn't get into like the meat and potatoes of what that show should have actually been about, which is the forming of the Federation. Like, humans meeting Andorians, meeting Vulcans, meeting... I forgot the names of the other races that helped found the Federation. But yeah, they're like going out and actually like interacting with all these other alien races, actually exploring and then forming the Federation that exists in the original series with Kirk and Spock and all that. Because by that point, the Federation exists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And from what I understand, Discovery actually takes place prior to the original series, but after Enterprise.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. The timing of all of it is weird, but
it's starting to kind of go with the same thing that Star Wars is doing. Like, we're going to make a real trilogy, then go to prequels, then we're going to do sequels.
Well,
then we're going to just fuck everything up and make cartoon series wherever we want.
Star Trek for the longest time? Well, there was a cartoon series for Star Trek.
Was there really?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But that was original series.
Yeah,
okay.
That was with Kirk and Spock. But, for a longest time, Star Trek actually did just follow a chronological order. Right?
Yeah.
The original series ended, and then they picked up with TNG, which was The Next Generation.
Yeah,
which
and
was
then
right
Voyager.
No.
Voyager was
DS9.
after DS9?
Yes.
Okay.
Because
I like Voyager better than DS9.
The easiest way you can know that is because DS9 actually has Picard dropping Cisco off on DS9.
Right. Yeah. That's right.
So The Next Generation, they were both airing at the same time, and they had a crossover to kind of kick off DS9.
Yep.
So, and then Voyager was its own thing, which was Lost in Space, essentially.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah, Voyager was Lost in Space Star Trek. Because Voyager got sent through a wormhole by accident. They got sucked into a wormhole to the Delta Quadrant.
Yes.
To the Delta Quadrant.
Where they met the Borg. And
well, that's where the Borg were from originally.
Started to build onto their ship based on who they met.
Yeah.
So by the time... Oh, fuck it. It's been around long enough. I'm not going to worry about spoilers. By the time they get back to Earth, it's a completely different ship.
They have ablative plating. Like, literally, they cover the ship in, like, this weird nanotech armor.
Oh, shit, that's cool.
Yeah, and they could turn it off and on and off, so, like...
They've got weaponry and all
closes
this
back
crap.
in.
What?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. And they find the transwarp conduits that the Borg use to get around.
Yep.
Because the Borg have, like, these... They have effectively man-made wormholes. Is what it is, what the transwarp conduits are.
Okay.
they tether a location in space with this, and then they get to another location, like they just fly there. Takes them fucking forever, but they get there, and then they physically build another location. It's like Stargate.
I was gonna say, it's like this is starting to kind of a little bit sound like Stargate.
But they don't go through a Stargate.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's transwarp conduit. And that's how Voyager gets back to
Earth.
Alpha Quadrant.
Yes.
Which is where Earth is.
Yeah, they don't get to Earth directly. But yeah.
And they get help from Janeway from the future.
Who?
Janeway, the captain.
Captain Janeway.
The captain of Voyager.
Yeah.
Oh.
Apparently, they did some time paradoxy bullshit in the last episode, and Janeway from the future on Earth helps them get through the transwarp conduit so that they can make it to Earth so that happens.
So before Jacob's head explodes...
No, it makes sense. It's just like, what the fuck?
We should get back to Star Wars, because I think we've already lost, 4 viewers right now?
Star Wars, what about it?
But I mean, we're all fans of science fiction because I mean, I love Stargate. I love SG-1 is like my favorite. Atlantis is also a good one there.
Atlantis is terrible.
Atlantis is so corny, but I love it.
Atlantis was pretty good. I like SG-1 better.
SG-1 is
Stargate Universe was terrible.
It was awesome. It was the greatest thing ever. It was a soap opera in space.
That is the episode 2 of
the
Stargate.
No, you don't know because they're remaking Stargate the movie.
Yeah,
so we don't know if that's going to be
whoever's doing that.
Universal?
My universal answer to anybody remaking
I'm pretty sure it's Universal.
No, he's talking about the director.
Oh, okay. I'm just talking about the studio.
He's talking about the people responsible.
No, stop fucking with shit, man. Write your own stuff. Stop trying to remake the past.
No, everything's getting remade, man. That's what's
stupid.
Going on.
Make your own shit. You have your own damn mind. Stop using other people's crap.
Yeah. Originality is not something that is looked for in Hollywood. But yeah, no, the topic was Star Wars versus Star Trek.
Yeah, and it's I don't think nowadays, because everyone's mad about their own fucking fandom, they don't have any time to be mad at everyone else.
Well, I think that's what unified both the fandoms, is they're both pissed off at their respective fandoms.
Yeah.
Are they unified, though?
No.
For the most part, yeah.
They don't, I mean, if you call unified as they don't want to kill each other anymore, then yeah.
They're both unified in their hatred of what is going on in their respective fandoms.
So it's like the two Irish factions in Belfast right now.
Yeah, they're like, we don't like each other, but we also don't like them.
Yeah, let's fight somebody else.
Yeah.
So,
this is gonna be good. I know it.
There are a lot of things that are similar between segueing off of Jacob's comment about how Star Trek and Star Wars are pretty much in the same field, just opposite sides of that field.
Okay.
What are the similarities between Star Wars and a lot of other science fiction?
Space. The final frontier.
God.
Okay.
That is a good point. That is a valid point. Space is kind of universal.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get that. But I mean,
interdimensional too.
What makes Star Wars unique? What are the similarities?
Lightsabers
and what makes
it unique.
But there are things like lightsabers in other science fiction genres.
The Force.
They have plasma torches in Star Trek.
It's not a lightsaber. It's not a handheld.
It's a handheld device. It is handheld device that can cut through metal.
Okay,
but can you swing it like a sword?
We have a drill that does that. It's a handheld device that cuts through metal.
And you can wield it like a sword, too.
Well, you can. You kind of look like a retard doing it, but you can do it.
But I mean, there are devices that are similar. They just don't look exactly the same. And
can you have a sword fight with that, though? With
plasma torch?
Yeah. Okay.
Well...
So you have the basic...
Scientifically, you shouldn't be able to have a sword fight with a lightsaber
Scientifically, Star Wars doesn't exist, so...
That's not entirely accurate, but I'm not going to get into that. If I can find it, I will put up a link.
That explains how lightsabers could physically
could be
exist.
possible, yes.
Or here.
Yes.
Down in the credits, asshole.
Dude,
Down in the credits.
Anyway.
Oh, let's see. What was...
Well, what makes
the
similar?
Trek
He mentioned the Force. Star Wars is unique because of the Force. There's nothing like that in any other sci-fi that I know of.
There are a lot of things that exist in other science fiction, fantasy-esque kind of genres that exist, like magic, like that.
If you want to find the Force as magic, then yes. Oh, yes, you're right. You are absolutely right.
Dune has...
with the vocal thing
with the voice.
Do. Yes.
As well as with the Bene Gesserit capability to manipulate their...
Spaceballs. That is technically science.
It's part of Star Wars, asshole.
It is actually Star Wars. It's literally Star Wars. It's
Jewish Star Wars.
With a little bit of alien in there.
Well, and a lot of other...
aliens.
No, and a lot of other... No, I mean alien, as in Alien with Sigourney Weaver.
Oh. Yeah.
Dancing. But... but no.
I'll throw it up.
Spaceballs not... It's part of the genre, but I mean, it's satirical comedy that's making fun of Star Wars.
Count.
Yes.
It doesn't count.
We're talking about, like...
Actual
science fiction...
Or science fantasy.
Science fantasy that exists. What are the similarities and what makes Star Wars unique? There are a lot of things that exist.
How people treat the Force as a religion, and how there's two different factions that are waging war beyond
all that,
beyond just the planets and everything. It's more of control of the galaxy and having order or not having order. It's that kind of...
Without the Force, you would have that struggle anyway.
It wouldn't be that much interesting, though.
Are you sure?
But you'd still have it.
It would be more like Episode 2, where we have people yelling at each other.
Or the Clone Wars.
It'd be...
No, the Clone Wars...
It would be more
cartoon
like...
series.
It would... Well, no, there's a lot of Force in Clone Wars.
What about Rebels?
There's a lot of Force in there, too, actually, because there's 2 Jedis in there.
But through that logic, then, wouldn't Star Wars primarily
be more like Rogue One.
Star Wars or Jedi? Like, Jedi and Sith define Star Wars.
No.
There is no Star Wars without them.
No, that's not true. We got Rogue One. Yes, there was Darth Vader, but he was rarely in it.
True, but he was in it.
He was in it, but...
And he wasn't named as a Sith at that point.
No, he wasn't.
No, he was Darth Vader.
He was not named a Sith.
He was in Dark Lord of the Sith.
Technically, he was.
He was not named...
In the movie, he was not named Dark Lord of the Sith. Yes, correct. But chronologically, yes, he was.
So if the movie stood alone, then no, you would have no fucking...
No, you would just have this big old guy in a fucking suit.
Black dude with a red sword, fiery sword.
Force would still be used it, and he would have a lightsaber. They do name it as a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
So, I mean, those things exist in Star Wars, so that defines Star Wars, then.
No. It's
because if you take out the Jedi and the Sith, if you take out the capability to do that,
it's more of the culture that is inside of the movies,
such as
the Imperials versus the Rebels. It's very... The Imperials are supposed to be very clean, and they're very ordinalistic. That's a new word that I'm creating. Fuck you guys. I'm making it. Fuck you. I don't care.
I'll try to spell it.
Orderly?
No.
They're very orderly.
I like his
ordinalistic.
Fuck, I can't even say it.
So for the next 23 minutes, we're going to try to let Jacob pronounce a word that doesn't exist.
That I created.
Yeah.
Not even 3 minutes ago. I can't even say it anymore.
Smart boy.
Yeah, you know. It's just the conflict between it's two factions. It's the Imperials, which are supposed to be, like, I'm reiterating myself, they're supposed to be clean,
orderly,
whatever, and
let's boil
They're Nazis. There's fucking space Nazis, okay? They're space Nazis versus the rebellion.
That doesn't exist for that particular faction. Let's boil it down to what it actually is.
Space Nazis.
What people actually see it as. Good against evil.
That's the basic premise of it, yes.
Okay, there's nothing different.
In every other science fiction fantasy.
It's all good against evil.
Well, yeah,
Right
even in
against
Star
dark.
Trek.
Everything, it's good against evil.
Well, that's
All of it.
every fucking movie.
Now,
Yes.
I mean, to be fair, Star
It's
Trek
the
does
antagonist
allow
versus
for
No,
a
no,
lot
no.
of gray.
Infinity War was not good against evil. Infinity War was dumb.
Technically, Infinity War isn't good versus evil because Thanos believed he was doing what he was doing for the good reason.
Same thing with Darth Vader.
So
Good versus evil is from a certain point of view now.
Yeah.
Because depending on what side
But
you're
all the
fighting
movies... All the
if
movies...
you a stormtrooper thinks
But-
he's keeping order in the galaxy.
But just because it depends on your point of view, the movies are filmed from the point of view of Darth Vader is evil.
Correct.
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker is good.
Yeah.
That's
How it's
how the
portrayed.
movie is
Yeah.
filmed.
Not badass black dude against whiny little bitch.
Yeah. That's what we take away from the movie.
He becomes a whiny little bitch in a black suit, at least.
So,
It's true.
the way it works is good versus evil.
Yeah.
And Star Trek allows for a lot of gray. Because there is a lot of gray in Star Trek.
Yeah, but you see the... Yes, overall, yes, you're correct. On an individual basis, however, you get to see inner conflict of... I don't want to do this.
Character development.
But... Boss is telling me to, so... Alright, I'll do it. Oh, good, I was right.
Character development.
Yes.
There's a lot of inner conflict in character development in Star Trek.
It's more character driven than it is
good
the
versus
whole
evil.
Good versus evil.
Light
thing.
versus dark.
I think you get a little bit more character development in Star Wars than most people would.
You want any of that, you go to Dune. Dune has the most character development.
Darth Vader has character development.
Not really.
Oh.
Whiny little bitch in a black suit. Badass whiny little bitch, but doesn't seem so whiny. Back
He
to
barely
being
talks.
whiny little
Because he
bitch.
can barely breathe.
He has character development. From your sister.
If you take the original series, 4, 5, and 6, there is no character development of Darth Vader.
Yeah, he's...
No, there is.
There is
yes.
too.
That's completely
He
false.
starts off as a badass and ends as a whiny little bitch with asthma.
He's not a whiny little bitch at the end. He kills the fucking Emperor.
The Emperor was
very
distracted,
end.
by the way.
It doesn't fucking matter. He killed his master like a fucking little bitch and killed him in his sleep. So he fucking deserved that.
He had to think about it.
So did Vader.
Vader did not plan that.
Oh, he did not plan that at all?
No, he did not plan.
he
No,
just
that was
went-
very spontaneous.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Grabbing the
didn't you
Emperor
see
and
that?
throwing him in the thing.
And fine. And then he planned. And then he was like, okay, I'm going to pick him up and
No,
throw him.
that wasn't a plan. That was spontaneous. There is no planning.
Spontaneous planning.
There is no spontaneous planning.
That's what it's called. He planned. He was like, okay, I'm going to pick him up. Oh, shit. Fucking geek. Fuck. Die already.
It's not a plan. There was no
That's-
plan involved.
He
His
thought-
plan was eventually to overthrow the Emperor with the help of Luke as his son, as his apprentice. That's what he told Luke. But he did not plan to throw the Emperor into the shaft of the Death Star.
But did he tell Luke that just to get Luke to...
He said, join me. And that was in episode 5.
But did he just say that to get him to turn to the dark side? So
Yeah,
the
we don't
Emperor
actually
could have
know
him?
if there was actually any plan involved in that, because he never actually states there's a plan of him trying to take over or overthrow the Emperor. We just know that he wants Luke to join
There
him.
is still character development.
Really?
Yes.
Like what?
Because he... Do you think in episode 4 that he would go and save Luke?
No. There are no... This is not a question session.
Well, I'm just saying.
You explain how there is character development
In
without a
episode
question.
4, Darth Vader would have not saved Luke. In episode 6, Darth Vader saves Luke.
See,
Darth Vader was trying to
he
kill
didn't
Luke
even
in
know.
episode 4.
Yeah, but he didn't know.
Still technically character development.
Not true.
Yes!
How is him finding out his son didn't die character development?
That's development literally right there! He developed...
He's got a point.
Alright.
I mean, granted, Luke's
It's not much development, but
is
it's
like
technically...
this.
Yeah, Luke's development is much bigger than Vader's.
Vader's development is like this, but it is still development.
Yes.
So he does.
So he goes from a state of not knowing his son is alive to knowing
his
son is alive.
Yeah, more like here,
So
knowing.
that's his development.
That's the development. Yeah.
That's the only
And
development.
then saving this guy that he was about to kill, not even maybe
Well,
like
he saved
3 or
him in
4
episode 5.
Not even saying 3 or 4 years later.
He saved him in episode 5.
Vader saved Luke in episode 5.
He could have killed him outright.
That is completely true, but he was talking to him and Luke fell.
He was trying to convince him, and no, Luke didn't fall.
He jumped, sorry. Well, no, he fell. He let go. He let go. He didn't jump, he let go. Technically, he let go.
Let it go! Let it go!
Fucking asshole.
Luke willingly.
You were about to say regardless, weren't you?
No.
Yes, you were.
No, I
Don't
wasn't.
even
That was a
No,
long
Luke-
pause.
I was thinking, like, Luke let go. That he chose to do that, yes. But he also was getting his ass fucking handed to him by Vader.
That's
and
completely
Vader
true.
could have killed him at any moment.
That is completely true.
Well, he kind of would have gotten his hand handed to him
If he had a hand
if it hadn't been.
chopped off.
True.
Yeah.
Well, Vader was proving a point. Like father, like son.
And why didn't Vader just force grab that hand and say,
Why didn't
"You
Luke?
drop this"?
Why didn't Luke?
Well, Luke didn't know.
Because he
Oh, that's
got
true,
his
he didn't
hand
know.
chopped off. I'm like, he wasn't thinking. He was like,
distracted.
holy shit, my hand
was
just got chopped
distracted.
He wasn't being a very good Jedi at that
No,
moment. Because
he
a Jedi
wasn't.
would have been like, oh, there is no pain.
Well, that's nice.
there is no
Let me
pain.
get that back.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Like, oh, I need my lightsaber.
No,
grab the lightsaber.
It would
bring
still.
it
There's
back to
still
the-
pain just because you get your fucking hand chopped off
No.
and burned.
He needed both hands to get his lightsaber.
What? Oh, you're talking about the Hoth
When
cave?
yeah, he needed both hands.
Oh, yeah. But that
Yeah.
was...
Yeah, he couldn't have gotten
That was
one hand
before
with
his
the other
training with
hand.
Yoda.
Yeah.
Bespin was after his training with Yoda.
Someday, when you are older.
Fucking seagulls.
You get hit by both.
Anyway. There's not a lot of character development with Vader. There's more with Luke than there is
Not
with
a
Vader.
lot, but
There is.
He is
some.
There's
Right, there
more
is
with
some.
Han.
That's completely true. Because at
Yeah,
first he started
I'll
as a
give you that.
smuggler, and then by the 6th episode, he's a general in the rebellion.
He
He's
goes
still
from
a
not
smuggler.
he goes from not giving a shit about anything other than himself
To
in
kinda
episode
giving-
he
4.
still has that smuggler mind.
Oh, and then he
Oh,
goes
yeah,
back
absolutely.
to it.
Yeah.
After his son goes to the dark side, he's like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna go do what I did best."
Well,
Go smuggle shit.
we don't know how quickly he jumped ship from... Because what could have happened is he could have actually chosen to go back to being a smuggler right after the Empire...
Right after-
No,
right
the
after-
discussion,
right after-
the discussion with Leia. In
It
episode
sounded like he went back right after.
No, it was more like they said they both.
How do you
went,
know that wasn't during the after party?
It could have been.
No, they both went back to the things that they were good at.
The after party.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Luke's
thinking.
good, or Han's really good at putting
Oh,
babies
damn.
in women.
Yeah. Well,
Apparently,
Luke might be too.
yes.
We don't know.
God.
There is that. Like Mark
There's-
Hamill is like hinting that he had a relationship in between episodes 6 and 7, which would explain why Rey might be.
He
his
did.
kid.
He did have a relationship.
Yeah, with Mara Jade.
Yeah.
In Legacy canon.
Yeah.
We don't know if they'll
That's
actually do that.
Why I'm not going to be happy if that comes up after all the shit that's happened so
I don't
far.
think it's going to come up.
I
They're not going to bring Mara Jade in.
if they do,
At
they'll
all.
piss off a lot of people.
They're going to bring Mara Jade in.
Or Jade Mara.
You watching?
Just fuck up the
They're
name.
going to bring
Jade
Jade
Mara.
Mara. Jara Maid.
Oh, there you go. She'll be played by an Asian.
Rose!
No! But I could see that happening.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And Rose, oops.
Why doesn't Ray look Asian? Well, she kind of does.
Why is Ray older than Rose? Well...
Time travel. We finally decided to bring that in. That's JJ's, like, mystery box thing.
Yep.
That he loves to do with everything he makes.
Yeah.
So what was the question?
I don't remember. That was a wild
character
tangent.
development in Star Wars.
After the Star Trek Star Wars thing.
Yeah, the whole thing of what makes Star Wars...
Well, no, you were talking about character development and how that's kind of like a thing in Star Wars.
Well, what makes it unique? That's what it was.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what makes...
Midi-chlorians.
No.
Yes!
They even retcon that out of
just
themselves.
makes it
I'm just saying
stupid.
they don't have midi-chlorians on Star Trek.
No, they have mitochondria because they go off of real fucking science.
Well, there we go. Star Wars is not based off of real fucking science, and Star Trek is.
That is a clear defining...
There we go.
Okay. That doesn't make it unique, though.
It does.
Because there's a lot of other science fiction that
The
doesn't...
lack of real fucking science is prominent in most science fiction.
Yeah, it's true.
But it does...
Science fantasy.
Yeah.
Real science fiction is not something... Like The Expanse would be science fiction.
Then you make the distinction between hard science fiction and...
Science fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, I was going to say Flash Gordon, that's science fantasy.
Yeah.
No one has fucking wings and they can fly through space.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're aliens.
Yet.
We don't know if aliens exist out there that do have wings.
And they can fly through space with wings.
We don't know.
Yeah, we do.
They could be really fucking far out there.
Space whales.
What?
They're called the... Shit, starts with an S. Seraphim.
Wait, you mean the Valkyries?
No, I mean the Seraphim.
The fuck are seraphim?
But
And
no, there's a lot of things that can be a lot of analogies between Star Wars and a lot of other science fiction, science fantasy out there.
like earth tones.
Sure. What?
Earth tones are used a lot
Earth tones.
in clothing.
Yeah, like brown, green, yellow,
Even
beige.
reds. Dark reds. Deep reds.
Like clay red. Yeah. Mhm. But that's
Doesn't make it unique.
it doesn't.
Now, are we just talking about the movies themselves for Star Wars?
Star Wars in general.
Okay, I was going to say, because, I mean, you can also add Bane to that, because...
I was wondering how he was gonna
Throw Bane in
wedge
there?
that in there.
The thing is you can't look at an individual
That's
character.
fucking character development, though.
Yeah, Bane is definitely character development. But you can't look at his character development as being a unique thing to Star Wars.
Because
Character development is important in any story, whether it's sci-fi or not.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Character development is just a tool that's used to tell a good story. It doesn't matter what it belongs to.
So what makes it unique?
the way that they disguise a soap opera into science fantasy. Because that's what it is.
Explain.
Because most soap
To be
operas,
fair,
if you
he hasn't
watch...
actually seen a lot of science fiction, science fantasy. So.
Explain.
Yeah. So my mom watches a lot of soap operas, and by that, when I was a kid, I was watching soap operas while playing with Legos.
Same
now
here.
you understand
My
why I was
grandmother.
dramatic.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, it's.
My grandma watched a lot of Days of Our Lives.
Yeah,
I
mine
watched
too.
a lot of Days of Our Lives.
General Hospital.
Yep.
Yeah.
My mom watched all of them. She watched like 6 of them. Hi, Mom.
I used to know that fucking Days of Our Lives thing from heart. No, I'm not.
So are the seconds.
Yeah, shut up. No, I'm not gonna do it.
So are the days of our lives.
I'll have the music up. I'll do it.
Oh, God. But, I mean, that's what Star Wars is. It is a spice opera. It's very dramatic.
Spice?
A spice.
Did he say spice?
Spice, the final frontier.
I know we were talking about too.
Anyway.
It is a soap opera in space. That's what Star Wars is, because it's one family fucking up the entire fucking galaxy.
That is accurate.
what we see of the galaxy. Don't get me started.
Their galaxy, because they stated it is a separate one. It is not the Milky Way.
Yeah.
But
it's only
their little hole of the galaxy.
They seem to be very in control of that.
They don't fuck up the whole thing because there is a lot of space in their galaxy that they don't actually have any kind of influence over.
So they fuck up the main governments of that space, I should say.
That's accurate.
The Skywalker family. For 3 generations? Three generations.
Yes, literally generations.
Yeah.
It's 70 to 80 years.
Of the Star Wars galaxy is fucked up by the Skywalker family.
No, I mean, if you look at it in the grand scheme of
it's not much.
It's really not.
Revan did a lot more.
Because Alderaan wasn't fucked up by the Skywalkers, and wow, their whole
actually, it was.
Fucked up.
It was because of Leia. Alderaan was targeted specifically because of Leia.
At the time, she wasn't a Skywalker.
She was.
Didn't know she was a Skywalker.
She didn't know, but that doesn't change the fact that
nobody knew.
But that doesn't change part of the soap opera. Holy shit, she's a Skywalker.
She killed Alderaan.
Someone did know. 2 people knew that were alive at that time.
Yes. And they kept it as a secret. And Luke and Leia almost had sexual relations.
How do you know they didn't?
They kind of did.
Could have been off screen.
She did kiss him multiple times.
It could have been in between episode 4 and 5. They could have done something.
That could have been why she had that look on episode 6.
She already knew, though, by that point, because she finds out at the end of 5.
And she ends up in the end of
6. Kind of, but she doesn't believe it.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to believe it.
Yeah, let's go with that.
So, Star Wars.
So for 70 to 80 years,
it's a soap opera.
That still doesn't make it unique.
No, it doesn't.
You have no uniqueness stated.
Opera. It is.
There are no unique soap operas.
They disguised it as a soap opera. Or, no.
They disguised the soap opera as science fantasy.
No, because they advertised it as a space opera.
They did.
But that's... Fuck you guys. Leave me alone.
Your argument has failed, and it's taken an episode and a half.
No, just an episode.
Just a half episode.
No, because
we're talking about Star Wars versus
Star Trek. Star Wars. Wow.
Yeah, now we're talking
two-parter.
Yeah.
Fuck.
No, this
what about you guys? I've been the only one fucking talking.
Yeah, I know, because we've been trying to figure out how...
Bane. There we go. The only thing that sets them different, Bane. Fuck you guys.
No, Bane does not make it different.
Bane isn't unique.
Okay, name another one that's like Bane.
Name a character that's like Bane?
Yeah.
Well, there's Klingons, I'm sure, in Star Trek that could be very much like Bane.
They can use the Force and they can use a thought bomb.
Technically, Bane didn't use the thought bomb.
Okay, he tricked a guy to use the thought bomb.
Yeah, and characters trick other characters all the time.
Okay, so again, the Force. Because is there anything called like a thought bomb?
Well, they can't use the Force in other things, but there are a lot of science fantasy genres out there that have things similar to the Force.
Like what?
We did also mention in Dune there was also
the Voice.
The Voice, and then there's also the Spacing Guild, the capability to fold space and time and be able to travel between places. They do that. The Bene Gesserit are able to utilize mental capabilities to control their bodies, so to be able to not breathe in areas where they need oxygen, to be able to go through poisonous areas. Mentats are able to do supercomputing.
Okay, we're still trying to get his explanation. Okay. No, we are not continuing this again. No, we are not continuing this again. You're going to finish your thought.
So, the difference between Star Wars and all others...
No, what makes Star Wars unique, not different.
Because it's making Star Wars... They're portraying Star Wars as a very unique thing, even though it has copied so many fucking things from, like, fantasy, so many things from other science fiction things, and are making it their own. It's the marketing of Star Wars that makes it fucking unique.
And ladies and gentlemen, marketing does not make anything unique. And we're done for today.
That's it! That's the end of the episode.
I don't fucking care. I love Star Wars still.
We're not trying to dispute Star Wars. I love Star Wars too. That's why we're all here.
Well done, Star Wars. Fuck you, Disney. And
live
for Kennedy.
Thank you for joining us. Please like, share, subscribe, follow. Be sure to hit the bell. Hashtag thumbs down.
Bell?
The bell on
The bell.
The bell.
It's the Inception sound. Whoa.
It's been a lot of things.
That's the same sound that you said that the Sonic bomb did in space.
You mean Sonic
whatever
lines?
the fuck it was dumb.
It was good.
Anyway,
Thank you for joining us. Be sure to hit the little subscription bell next to the subscribe button to get notifications when we release new content.
Like right there.
and
Don't forget about
Real Film Nerds.
Yep.
There we go.
The Mile High Show.
Yep.
That's it.
They both watch us.
They both watch us.
Ish.
Well, I'm pretty certain Real Film Nerds watches us.
I don't know.
Santos watches too.
Does he really?
Yes, he does.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
He would never admit it, but he does watch.
All right. But make sure to follow them. They are very closely tied to us.
But very, very different. And
How are we different?
Santos is nicer than us. I'm a little more vulgar. I don't know about you guys.
I don't fucking know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, we're definitely all vulgar.
Henshaw's vulgar. Santos is clean, family friendly.
Hashtag Limp for Kennedy.
We already said let's forget it.
Santos doesn't do that. That's not
Neither
family
does
friendly.
Henshaw.
Oh, Henshaw would, I'm sure.
Sure, I guess.
He might.
But thank you for joining us. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed the episode. And toodles.
See you guys.
That was good. Fuck you guys for getting me flustered and all that shit.
Leaving that audio.
Come to the dark side.